Hello, Flowly friends, and welcome to this yoga flow to stimulate your lymphatic system. This particular session is going to start with a little bit of self massage. Then we're going to do a few little stretches, dynamic movements. We're going to go through 2 rounds of sun salutations, and then we're going to slow it down with a few more yin-like postures towards the end. All you're going to need is maybe a block, maybe a pillow. You can have both if you want to, or just one or the other. And yes, make sure that you have a glass of water after this session as well. Okay, so whenever you're ready, we're going to start in a seated position. So I'm actually going to use my cushion here just because we're going to be here for a little while. So get nice and comfortable in your seat. So I'm just sitting on a cushion. You can sit cross-legged if you prefer, if this doesn't feel that comfortable for you. One thing that you could do, which is quite nice, is to just sit with your knees bent, feet flat to the floor, and then maybe just resting your hands just maybe on the top of your knees, or you can just sit upright, rest your hands on your lap. Sometimes it's just a little nicer if that cross-legged position just doesn't feel that great for you. So we're just going to start this practice with some really simple deep breathing. Deep breathing alone allows you to stimulate your lymphatic system throughout the whole body. So it's a really nice way to start. So just remaining nice and tall here, we're going to place the hands on the belly. One hand nice and flat, other hand on top. Nice tall spine. And we're going to take a nice big breath in through the nose. And then pursing the lips, really slow, steady breath out of the mouth, like you're blowing up a balloon. Take a moment to pause once you reach the bottom, and then take a nice big breath in. And exhale out. Pause at the bottom, nice big breath. And release. Pausing at the bottom, we're going to do 2 more like that. Big breath in. Last one when you're ready. Wonderful, just allowing your breath to come back to normal. If your eyes are not closed, gently closing the eyes. And just kind of tune in to all the sensations you're feeling around the body right now. Let your shoulders relax, let the belly relax. Just take a moment of stillness. Bringing the attention inwards, allowing yourself to be fully present. Wonderful. Whenever you're ready, take a big breath in. Sigh it out. You can release your hands, gently blink open the eyes. So we're going to start with our little bit of massage here. So we're going to take both the hands and we're going to separate the first 2 fingers and the second 2 fingers away from each other. Perfect. So this is like the little Trekkie sign, is it? I'm sure it is. I'm not a Trekkie myself, but that's for you if you are. So we're going to just take that little gap in between the fingers and we're going to slot our ear each side. So, and then just gently press the fingertips into your skin. So really lightly, but a little bit of pressure. We're going to take a breath. We're nice and tall here. And then as we exhale, really slowly, gently allowing the fingertips to come down the neck. And then until you get to the collarbone. Until you get to the collarbone, and then give it a little pulse. 1, 2. Lift. Take it back up, get into position, nice big breath. On the exhale, nice and slow, all the way down, just to the top of the collarbone, little pulse. Let's go back And nice and gently come down the neck, little pulse. That's 3. We're going to do 5 here, so 2 more. Take it up, bring it down, little pulse. Perfect. 1 more. Take it up, slowly bring it down, and little pulse. Just release your hands, take a nice big breath, let it go. Wonderful. Now we're going to take the peace fingers, the first 2 fingers of your left hand, and we are going to take them over to the top, just above your collarbone. So the top of the collarbone, but just above it. And to know that you've got it in the right place, if you hunch your shoulders up, you get a little bit of a dip, and that's exactly where you want to place those fingers. And then we're going to almost like draw a J along the top of the collarbone, like kind of stretching the skin here until we reach that nape of the neck, that little dip, and then we're going to do a pulse upwards. 1, 2. So it's almost like you're drawing a J. So we're going to do that 5 times. So drawing it down and up, pulsing. So that's 1. Bring it down, pulse. For 2. Gently bring it down, pulse. For 3. Bringing it down, we pulse. For 4. Slowly bring it down, we pulse. For 5. Lovely, you can rest. Go to the other side now. So first 2 fingers on your right hand, and then to the top of the collarbone. Again, you can just hunch up your shoulder, just then where it dips. You know you've got it in the right place. And just same again, you're just gently stretching the skin with the fingertips. Down, reach the nape, and kind of pulse upwards, just twice. So just drawing that little J. So that was 1, pulse up. For 2, back to the top. And 3, keep the spine nice and tall. For 4, last one, drawing it down. For 5. So this time we are going to massage, but underneath where your collarbone is. So just bring your fingers together. You can kind of tuck your thumb in and then cross the hands over, and you're just bringing that index finger just below where you started. So we were above the collarbone, now we're just below it. And all you're going to do is nice and gently kind of pulse upwards and outwards all the way along the collarbone until you reach the center. And again, we're going to do that for 5. So take it back. That was 1. Pulse, bringing it down. For 2, take it back and pulse. Down. For 3, perfect. Take it back and pulse. Down. For 4, last one. Nice little pulses, pushing the skin up. For 5. So now we're going to take it to the armpits. So we're going to cross the hands over. Fingertips are going to be kind of underneath the arms. Thumbs are just going to be out around, just around the front of that shoulder joint. And what we're going to do is we're going to squeeze, but we're going to squeeze in a kind of upward motion. We're going to hold for a second and then we're going to release. And we're going to do 10 of those. Okay, so just making sure that you've got your fingertips just gently pressed into the armpit. So you've got lymph nodes here. So this is nice for the stimulation of those lymph nodes underneath your armpits. So again, get nice and tall here. Let's take a breath in. Let's squeeze upwards. Exhale, release. Inhale. Exhale, release. Inhale. Exhale, release. So that was 3. Squeeze it up for 4. Release. Squeeze it up for 5. Release. Squeeze it up for 6. Release. Squeeze it up for 7. Release. Squeeze it up for 8. Release. Squeeze it up for 9. Release. And squeezing it up for 10. And release. Lovely. Just drop your arms down. Take a nice big breath in here. Lovely. Sigh it out. So we're going to take ourselves now into some little hip circles. So start to circle them. Go nice and slow. And try not to use the upper half of your torso too much. So we're not kind of pressing the chest forward or anything, doing like these huge big circles. It's just isolated to the hips. We're pressing the hips forward, kind of rolling them back into the seat. And just keep this going, breathing naturally. Lovely, rolling around. Lovely, keep it going a little bit longer. Wonderful. And then with all circular motions, we want to go in the opposite direction. So come to a little stop and then start to slowly go the other way. We always kind of circle one way quite naturally, and I always think that it always feels a little strange when you go the opposite way. Maybe that's just me. So again, just you're isolating the hips, so really circulating them around. Perfect. Keep breathing. We don't want to hold our breath here. We want to keep that oxygen flowing through the body. Perfect. Lovely. One more nice big rotation. And then just come to a little stop. Take a nice big breath in. Let it go. Wonderful. Okay, so I'm just going to remove my cushion just because I prefer to for this, but you can stay sitting on a cushion if you wish. So we're going to do some little side stretches now, but we're going to make them quite dynamic. So we're going to take an inhale. We're going to reach the arms up into the air. Nice big reach here. Reach, reach, reach. You can look up in between your hands if you wish. Have a little wiggle of the fingers. Find length. Really stretch it up. Big breath in. Sigh it out. Lovely. Nice big breath. Exhale. Let it go. Wonderful. We're going to bring the left hand down to the side of us. We're going to take that side stretch, leaning over with that right arm. Now, with a little bit of force, we are going to press ourselves quite vigorously off the floor. So use that left hand to push you up into the air and then float yourself to the other side. Get that stretch and then press yourself back up and then take it the other way. Lovely. Keep that going. Inhale up. Exhale as you come down and stretch. Inhale, press yourself up quite vigorously, almost like you're propelling yourself to fly in the air and then float back down to the other side. Inhale up. Exhale, take it the other way. Inhale up. Over to the other side. Inhale up. Keep it going. Really try and find a little bit of momentum with it. Maybe pop a little smile on your face. You know, see it as a little bit of joy today to move in this way. Nice big breaths. Wonderful. Just a couple more here. Wonderful. On your next little propel up into the sky. Reach both arms up. We're going to stay here. Again, you can look up in between the hands. Nice big breath. Exhale. Lower your hands down to your lap. Take a little roll out of your shoulders, rolling them up and back, and then take them in the opposite direction. Wonderful. Okay, from here, we're going to take ourselves into a tabletop position. So we're going to make sure that the wrists are underneath the shoulders. Knees are going to be underneath the hips, but then once we get here, we're going to walk the knees a bit wider than the hips. They don't need to go too wide. And then just trying to bring your feet and your ankles in line with your knees. Okay, we're going to take some nice big hip circles here. So we're going to bump the hips out to one side. Doesn't matter which side because we're going to do both. And circle back towards the heels. Nice big circles. Really try to focus in again on the hips. Think about moving them. You can move the torso in any way you want here. If you want to arch your spine, if you want to drop your head or lift the gaze, you can do that as well. Do what feels good to you. Think about what feels intuitive to do, what feels good for your body. But ultimately, you're getting into those hips. This is helping with that circulation as well as that shifting of the lymph around the bodies. It's nice to move the hips in this way so that we can release stagnant energy, maybe shift our emotions a little bit as well here. Perfect. One more rotation, then come back to the upright position, and then we're going to take it to the other side. So bump the hips to the other side, And then start to circle around. Lovely. Circle in. Big circles. Maybe this way you move a little different, or maybe you feel you move a little different. And that's okay, because sometimes that's what the body wants to do. Wonderful. When you're ready, one more big rotation, and then we are coming back to center. We're going to walk the feet back in underneath the hips, so we're back in that tabletop. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to tuck the toes. We're going to take a nice big breath, slowly lifting the hips up to a downward facing dog. Take a little stretch out here. Now, if you want to, you can take a generous bend in the knees. Turn the tailbone nice and high. Press the heels down towards the floor. Give the whole of the back of the body a really good stretch here. Big breath in. Exhale, release it out. One more like that. Big breath. Exhale, release it out. Wonderful. When you're ready, take a little look forwards and take either lots of little steps or one big step to the front end of the mat. Feet are hip distance apart. We're going to exhale down to a forward fold. Lovely. When you're ready, inhale, rise, little half lift. Exhale down, forward fold. Lovely. Big inhale. We're going to rise all the way up to standing, reaching the arms up overhead. And then exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Take a moment here in your standing position, just noticing how you feel, letting your feet ground down to the mat. Nice tall posture here, nice low shoulders, and just breathe. Okay, so now we're going to take ourselves through 2 rounds of sun salutations. That's sun salutations C. So whenever you're ready, we're going to take a nice big breath, bending the knees, reaching the arms up. Exhale, we are floating down to a forward fold. Inhale, we're going to take a half lift. Exhale down, forward fold. Generous bend in the knees here, stepping that right foot back, drop the back knee down to the floor. Hands are framing your front foot. When you're ready, big inhale, we rise all the way up. Lovely. Find a little bit of length here. Find stability in your foot, in your legs. Big inhale, reach, reach, reach. Exhale, we float the hands down to frame the front foot, stepping left foot back into high plank position. Now, you can bring your knees down instantly here if you wish. Otherwise, we have that full body engagement. Whatever position you're in, we draw navel in towards the spine. Big breath in. Exhale, we lower to the knees, chest and chin, or just chest and chin if the knees were already lowered. Perfect. Lower down to the belly. Hands are underneath the shoulders. Inhale, baby cobra, lifting the chest, top of the chest off the floor, feeling that little back bend. Exhale, we lower down, tuck the toes, big inhale, send the hips back, downward facing dog. Lovely. When you're ready, big breath. We're reaching that right foot up to the sky, bending into the knee. We're going to step that foot forward in between the hands, dropping the back knee down to the floor. Inhale, we rise up, low lunge. Lovely. Nice big breath here. Exhale, float the hands down to frame the front foot. Tuck the back toes. We lift the back knee up and then take a big step forward this time. Exhaling down to a forward fold. Inhale, we take the half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Big inhale, we rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take that to the other side now. Inhale, we reach up. Exhale, we float it down, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Generous bend in the knees, planting the hands. Left leg's going back this time, dropping the back knee down. Gazing forward, inhale, we rise, low lunge. Inhale, exhale, float the hands down to frame that front foot. Tuck the back toe, stepping right foot back to your high plank position. Full body engagement. Knees can come down if you need. Big breath in. Exhale, lower to knees, chest and chin. Lovely. Lower all the way down to your belly. Inhale, rise, little baby cobra. Perfect. Lower all the way down, tuck the toes, big breath in. Send the hips back, downward facing dog. Perfect. When you're ready, inhale, left leg goes up, 3-legged dog. Bending into the knee, we step it forward in between the hands, drop the back knee down to the floor. Gazing forward, when you're ready, big inhale, we rise all the way up, low lunge. Lovely, inhale, reach, reach, reach. Exhale, float the hands down, tuck the back toes, big step forward this time. Exhale, down, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Big inhale, we rise all the way up, reach, reach, reach. Exhale, hands to heart center. That's one completed round. One more to go. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, float it down, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Generous bend in the knees, right leg's going back, drop the back knee down, gaze forwards. When you're ready, inhale, we rise, low lunge. Inhale, take some extra little stretching, reaching through the hands. Exhale, drop the hands down. Frame that front foot, tuck the back toes, stepping left foot back into plank. Lovely. Draw that navel in, full body engagement as you press the hands away from you. Inhale, exhale, lower to your knees, chest, chin. Lovely. Lower down to the belly. Inhale, we rise, baby cobra. Drop it down, tuck the toes, big inhale, press back, downward facing dog. Lovely. When you're ready, big inhale, we rise that right leg up, three-legged dog. Bending into the knee, stepping it forwards, drop the back knee down to the floor. Gazing forward, inhale, we rise, low lunge. Inhale, reach, reach, reach. Exhale, float the hands down. Tuck the back toes, big step forwards. Exhale, down, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Big inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Taking it to the other side, big deep bend, reach up. Exhale, float it down, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forwards. Generous bend in the knees. Left leg is going back. Drop the back knee down. We gaze forward. Inhale, rise all the way up. Lovely, low lunge. Big inhale, reach a little higher if you can. Exhale, hands come down to frame the front foot. Stepping right foot back to plank. Drawing navel in. Big breath. Exhale, lower to knees, chest and chin. Lower down to your belly. Inhale, rise, baby cobra. Wonderful, drop it down. Tuck the toes, big inhale, press it back. Downward facing dog. Perfect, when you're ready, inhale, left leg goes up, three-legged dog. And stepping it in between your hands, drop the back knee down, we gaze forwards. Lovely, inhale, rise all the way up. And inhale, exhale, lower your hands down, tuck the back toes, lift that back knee, big step forwards. Exhale, down, forward fold. Inhale, we take a little half lift. Exhale, forward fold. And then big inhale, we rise all the way up, reach, reach, reach. Exhale, hands to heart center. Just take a moment here, let your shoulders drop. Lift your sternum up towards the thumbs. Just notice all of those wonderful sensations you're feeling around your body right now. All that fizzing, all those little fireworks. Maybe your breath is a little shallow here. Take some deep breaths. Wonderful. Perfect. Whenever you're ready, we're going to take a little bend in the knees. We're going to reach the arms up. Exhale, we're going to float ourselves down to that forward fold. Let those legs just stretch out for a moment. Really stretch it out. Big breath in here. Let it go. Wonderful. We're going to take a generous bend in the knees, plant both hands, and step both feet back to a downward facing dog. Okay. Now, we can stay in a downward dog if we wish, or we're going to do a little alternative to that today, lowering the knees down to the floor just for a moment, And then wherever your hands are, keep them where they are. And then just from that position, lower your forearms, your elbows down to the floor. When you get here, nice big breath, lift the hips back up like you would for a downward dog. Wonderful. Just letting the head and the neck be nice and neutral here. As with downward dog, you can have a bend in the knees, but what's quite nice about a dolphin pose is you can keep the legs where they are. You can walk them further away from you if you want to, or you can walk them a little closer towards your body. So just see what's available to you here. We're going to stay here for 3 big breaths. So nice big breath in through your nose. Let's sigh it out of the mouth. Nice big breath in and sigh it out. Big breath in here and sigh it out. Wonderful. When you're ready, nice and gently drop your knees down to the floor and tuck your toes, and then just come back to sit on the heels for a child's pose. Let your forehead come down to the floor. Just let everything go for a moment. Let your shoulders relax. Let the torso sink as close as it can toward your thighs. Just focus on your breath for a moment. Wonderful. Whenever you're ready, just sliding the hands in line with the face. Take an inhale, press yourself slowly up into a seated position. And then we're just going to bring the legs out in front and we're going to roll ourselves down onto our back. So just take your time here, nice and slow. Rolling back. Perfect. Now, this is where you probably want to grab a block or a pillow here. We're going to do a little bit of a supported bridge. So a block is really ideal for this, but don't worry, if you've only got like a cushion or a pillow, if it's quite flat, you can just fold it over just to give yourself a little bit of height. It gives you a little bit more comfort as well when you use a pillow or a cushion. If you've got your block, you can have it on either the flattest setting or setting 2, as I like to call it. So the flat one for me is 1, then it's 2, and then vertical it's 3. So I'm going to have mine on the number 2 setting today, but it's entirely up to you what you want to do if you are using a block. Have it in line with your hip. Have your knees about hip distance apart. And then when you're ready, take an inhale, lifting the hips just enough so that you can slide in your prop. It wants to go at the back of the sacrum here. So if you're using a block, you want to make sure that it feels okay. If you do have any type of back issue, then just be really mindful here. Go for the softest option. You don't need to hurt yourself. We're not trying to do that. We're never trying to do that in yoga. So we just want that support. Okay, and that looks different for all of us. It's important to know that. Okay, so you can keep your legs exactly as they are, or one by one, you can extend the legs out along the mat. Entirely up to you. Do this really slowly, especially if you're using the block. Make sure you feel nice and steady. And then what we're going to do is we're going to reach the arms above the head, just getting a little stretch through the torso as well. Let your arms and shoulders relax. Lovely. Feel that lovely stretch through the belly and through the front of the hips. And then let's just breathe here. We're only going to be here for about a minute. Perfect. Whenever you're ready, just start by bringing your arms down by your side so that your palms can just press gently into the floor. Then, if the legs are extended one by one, just slowly bending into each knee, just taking your time. And then we're going to take a big inhale. We're going to lift the hips. We're going to move that prop out of the way, pop it to one side, and then let's draw the knees in towards the chest. And here, we are going to trace small circles with the tops of the knees. So we get a really nice little circular back massage here, which always feels nice after any type of forward bending or backward bending, anything where you've stretched out your low back or the back of the hips. Take those circles in the opposite direction. Wonderful. Perfect. And then nice and slowly just bring your feet down to the floor. Now this is where you might want to grab your cushion or your pillow. Don't worry if you haven't got one. If you've only got a block, you don't need to use the block. But if you've got a cushion, this is just nice for a little bit of softness and a little bit of soft support, that comfort. We're going to lift up the hips, but we're going to pop this cushion on the low back, that lumbar region of your spine, just giving it some nice little comfort there, nice little place to rest. So we're going to bring the legs together, knees and feet. Press your palms into the floor. Inhale, just roll your knees in towards your chest, and then just allow the lower half of your legs to come up into the air. And you can have your feet nice and relaxed, but just making sure everything is together, just so the legs are supporting each other. Elbows are down on the floor, palms you're just going to place on your thighs wherever they kind of land, but then almost let your hands take a little bit of the weight of your legs here, a little bit of the weight of your thighs. Relax the shoulders here. We're going to breathe. We're starting to shift some of that lymph from the lower legs. We're allowing the blood to rush down towards the heart, so allowing us to improve our circulation. And in a moment, we're going to add in a little bit of movement. Just breathe here. Now, if for any reason having your legs suspended in the air, doesn't feel 100% for you, you can always, as an alternative, you can always take this to the wall and have those legs supported against the walls. Try to find softness throughout the rest of the body. No clenching the jaw, no pulling in the belly. Wonderful. Now let's add a little bit of movement here. So keeping the legs as they are, and all you're just going to do is start to alternate rock the feet, the ankles back and forth, just nice and gently. Just continue to breathe here. You can kind of scrunch up your toes as well if you wish. Wonderful. And then just nice and gently start to rotate the feet, rotate the ankles, making sure that you do like 4 or 5 in one direction and then take it, of course, the other way, as we do with all these circular movements. Fantastic. And then gently just come back to still legs again. Nice big breath in. Exhale, let it go. Wonderful. Take a little bend into the knees. Let the feet gently land on the floor. Wonderful. You can keep your cushion exactly where it is. And let's take ourselves into a little reclined butterfly here, or reclined bound angle. Soles of the feet coming together. We are allowing the knees to gently fall away from each other. And then we're going to reach the arms up above the head here. We're going to grab opposite elbows. And same again, we are relaxing everything here, relaxing the arms, the shoulders. Find softness through the torso. We're just gently allowing the hips to open, getting that stretch through the groin, the inner thigh. Again, this is another great pose for circulation, especially in the lower half of your body. Just Take nice deep breaths here. Wonderful. Whenever you're ready, bringing the arms down by your side, hands just coming to the outside of the legs and gently just drawing them in together. We're going to extend the legs out along the floor. We're going to take a nice full body stretch here. So reach and point through the toes, arms going up above the head, reaching and extending through the arms and fingers. Nice big breath in, big sigh out. Take one more like that. Keep actively stretching, big breath. Let it go. And then just allow your body just to release. Take a moment here. Wonderful. Whenever you're ready, nice and gently taking a moment to just roll onto the side body. No need to rush. I'm just staying here for a moment. And then just whenever you feel ready, pressing yourself up into a comfortable seated position. You can sit on your cushion if you want to. And then once you do arrive in your seat, taking a moment just to check how you're feeling here. Notice muscles, joints, but how you feel overall. And kind of notice that feeling. And spend a few moments thanking yourself for showing up for this practice today. Lymphatic drainage is really great for boosting your immune system. So you've really come to this practice today thinking about your health, and that's good. Whenever you're ready, we take a nice big breath in through the nose, nice big noisy sigh out through the mouth. And then bringing the hands to heart center. You can gently blink open the eyes. And namaste, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you being here. If you did enjoy this session, then please give it a little like. And if you've not subscribed already, then subscribe to my channel. And remember to flow gently and live fully.